Welcome one and all to the Fox 54 Weekend Review. I'm Kenesha Dees, your tour guide as we take you through a week-long tour of local headlines right here on Fox 54 Plus and Fox54.com. Here's a look at some of what's ahead for you this week. A heads up on hands-free changes in the Rocket City. The penalties are getting stronger. We're talking with the city council president who helped get those changes in motion. A skybridge to where? That question's puzzled Parkway drivers since the project was announced. But now a new development will be utilizing that walking bridge. We'll explore more with Fox 54's Ken McCoy. Plus, nearly 6 months since the death of Steve Perkins, his widow Catrella speaks with Sedona Meadows about her broken trust with Decatur police and city leaders on her continued search for justice. That and so much more in the half hour still ahead. But first, our top stories of the week surround crime, or in the case of our first story, alleged misconduct at Huntsville's legendary space camp. Social media rumors have spread to the point that lawmakers have made comment, urging Space and Rocket Center officials to take action. Here's the story up to this point. Parent whose daughter was just a few days away from attending space camp posted some allegations about an employee on Facebook. Alabama lawmakers have made comments calling for the space camp employee to step down or be fired. Our Jasmine Bird has the story.
A concerned parent just trying to get something off his chest took to Facebook about 3 days ago to share his concerns, stating in part, quote, "I just need everyone to see this and know what's going on at Space Camp at U.S. Space and Rocket Center. This is a man that claims to be a woman and they allow it. I want it spread, so I don't want to put too much on here. If you need more info, just read all the comments below." Some other parents also chimed in on the post about their children's recent Space Camp experience. One parent says in part, quote, "My daughter attended 2 weeks ago, and one of the first things she said after being picked up was most of the counselors were gay or trans," end quote. A former USSRC employee also chimed in stating, quote, "Space camp counselors do not enter the dorm rooms unless there is a medical emergency. I worked there for 4+ years. Even as a female, we never enter the female rooms or bathrooms. I've never seen the inside of the bathroom showering facilities for campers," end quote. And a person whose granddaughter went to the space camp shared, quote, "There were no counselors or hall monitors in the dorm rooms unless there was an issue. They had someone come by and tell them it was lights out and when it was time to get up in the mornings," end quote. Local and state representatives like U.S. Representative Dale Strong have also made social media statements. Representative Strong sharing in part, quote, "The U.S. Space and Rocket Center has long been a champion in promoting a science-based education in North Alabama. I call on the center to immediately remove this individual and open a safety review to consider the potential harm and damages they have inadvertently caused children." The U.S. Space and Rocket Center also shared a statement saying in part, quote, "We are aware of rumors circulating on social media about a space camp employee. We would like to assure parents, teachers, and the public that the safety and security of space camp students is our #1 priority. Any allegations of misconduct are taken very seriously. We are working to determine the facts in this case, after which we will take appropriate action," end quote. In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Documents reveal new information in the murder and sexual torture case for 36-year-old Kyle Luter. Our Ken McCoy has the latest, but we do warn you, some of the details surrounding this investigation can be disturbing.
Police were called to the 1700 block of Capshaw Road last week, where they discovered the body of 54-year-old Derek Franklin Walls of Harvest. Officials on social media stated, quote, "It appears that there was a physical altercation between both individuals who were known to each other, which ultimately resulted in the death of Mr. Walls," end quote. New court documents revealed that Derek Walls was killed by blunt force by a hammer on or about March 6, 2024. As for the sexual torture charge, we'll share in part that the victim was still alive when he experienced non-consensual penetration of an orifice with an inanimate object on or about March 5th, 2024. Luter was expected in court today, but the appearance was postponed until April. While he was granted and posted bond for the murder charge, he has not been granted bond for the sexual torture charge. That will be addressed at the same time as his preliminary hearing on April 11th, 2024. Attorneys for Luter have also filed for a mental health examination to determine if Luter is competent to stand trial and assist in his defense, and to ascertain any mental illness or defect which may have existed at the time of the alleged offense. Luter was active in the Madison County community. He was elected chairman of the Madison County Young Republicans in February 2022. We'll continue to follow this case and bring you more information as it develops. For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
We are learning more about Derek Walls, the victim in a Harvest murder investigation. Derek's brother, Rodney Walls, speaks online for the first time since his brother's death. Rodney sharing on Facebook this afternoon that he's devastated and in part, quote, that the deepest wounds of life don't even bleed, end quote. Rodney went on to thank the community for their ongoing support through this difficult time. In Derek's obituary, he is described as an avid hunter and fisher who had a passion for Alabama football and the great outdoors. Derek was also a father and grandfather. He leaves behind a daughter and 2 grandchildren. Derek will be laid to rest this weekend. Well, we hear from Alabama parents after school choice was signed into law. Governor Kay Ivey signed the CHOOSE Act yesterday. It's a longtime priority for state Republicans. This bill creates an educational savings account for $7,000 to help families pay for the participating school of their choice. It can be private, parochial, or public, but in another district. We spoke to a parent who thinks the bill is a step in the right direction, but misses the mark for encouraging schools to improve.
What I think most people want is for the schools to have to compete with one another for students and resources and ultimately money, because we all know that there are some school districts that are better than others. What we got instead was if you don't like what we offer, then here's some money, go find something else. And there's no incentive for these schools to improve under the current model.
We spoke to one parent who thinks the monies should be used for other reasons.
I feel like there's opportunity for it to be misused by people who don't truly need it. And I also think that for special education purposes, they should be focusing more on providing more special education opportunities for students, because there's not many options like the Riley Center, which costs a fortune, and $7,000 is not going to cover a year's tuition for that.
Right, it's been nearly 6 months since Steve Perkins was shot and killed by former Decatur police officer Mac Marquette. Since then, Perkins' widow, Catrella, has been navigating life without him. Our Sedona Meadows joins us now. And Sedona, you spoke with Catrella Perkins. How is she feeling?
Yeah, Kenesha, she and I stood outside Decatur City Hall where she told me she feels her trust in city leadership is broken and that her demands for justice surrounding her husband's death have not changed.
We're nearing 6 months since the day Catrella Perkins' whole life changed.
I feel terrible. I feel the same way since September 29th. There's no justice.
In the early morning hours of September 29th, her husband, Steve Perkins, was shot and killed outside of his home by Decatur police. In January, Morgan County District Attorney Scott Anderson shared former officer Mac Bailey Marquette has been charged with murder in the death of Perkins. Attorney Anderson also confirmed 3 other officers were on the scene at the time, but Marquette was the only one to fire his weapon. This all comes after an initial report from the Decatur Police Department that said a tow truck driver attempting to repossess Perkins' car called police alleging Perkins had threatened him with a gun. But Catrella tells us Steve was not a confrontational person.
He was a nice guy, great father, husband. He didn't deserve what they did to him. No one would have deserved that. It was absolutely wrong. It was senseless. It could have been avoided. All they had to do was simply knock on the door.
And although some months have passed, Catrella, her family, and her supporters say they're continuing to push for justice.
The demands have not changed. I still would like to see all 4 officers charged and convicted, as well as Todd Pinion gone.
There's been a lot of talk about healing, but I don't feel like that we can start healing until we receive justice.
And they do not feel city leaders are taking action to build trust with the community.
I think they've taken our comments serious, but they're not serious about doing the work. So it's all talk and no actions. Because it's been 6 months and they still haven't learned how to be transparent.
I don't know if I will ever be able to trust city leaders again, especially not the ones that's in office now. That trust is gone, it's broken.
No one is doing anything. There has been no policy change. There has been nothing progressive from the council. There has been nothing from the mayor. There has been nothing from the police chief about anything.
So now, Catrella says she just takes it one day at a time, finding her new normal after her husband's death.
I've had to navigate this thing called life without him.
Now, court records show former Decatur police officer Mac Marquette will stand trial November 18th of this year. We've got more on this story at FOX54.com.
All right, a new safe haven baby box is in the works for the city of Decatur. So far, at least 4 are installed across the state for a parent to safely surrender a newborn. Our Jasmine Bird tells us how soon we can expect the new baby box in the River City.
Safe haven baby boxes have become more common here in the state of Alabama and in surrounding areas. And in some areas, safe haven baby boxes have been placed at local fire stations. But in other areas, like right here in Decatur, they're taking a little bit different approach, and they're placing their first safe haven baby box right here at Decatur Morgan Hospital, which is right here behind me. And I am standing close to their emergency room, and it will be near their emergency room in an area where there is no camera coverage whatsoever.
Currently, we're in contract negotiations with the company that builds it. Once we get the contract wrapped up, we'll begin construction.
Decatur Morgan Hospital's Vice President of Operations, Jason Cunningham, shares that this all came about as an idea within the community.
They saw a need, and with the support of the City of Decatur, County Commission, and our elected officials, they funded it, and the idea was born.
And why they decided to place the baby box at the hospital versus a local fire station?
As we all know, fire departments have other duties than just sitting at the fire station. So the next best option is the hospital, where there's always somebody here 24/7 that can really receive the baby, take care of the baby, and make sure that future care is given.
And this is how the process will work.
Once the door is open and a baby's placed into the box, it triggers a silent alarm. There's also an option for video within the box, so you actually can see the baby in the box. And that activates our care team. So our ER team will be the first people to retrieve the baby on the other side of the wall from the box, and we'll get the labor and delivery team here to make sure and do a full evaluation with the care of pediatricians if needed on these babies.
Now, this baby box is expected right here at Decatur Morgan Hospital in early summer, so we'll continue to follow this story. For now, in Decatur, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
The Huntsville Driver License Office is getting a new location along with some upgrades. Aaliyah announced the office currently on Church Street will move to a new site along Governor's Drive. The new office will open at 7262 Governor's West starting April 1st. The Church Street location will close in exactly 2 weeks, the 27th. Online services will be available during the transition, and hours at the new location will remain the same. All right, interacting with the police can be an anxious experience, but a group in Huntsville wants to help ease those fears by bridging a gap. The Huntsville Police Citizens Advisory Council held one of its many forums breaking down the basics of police interaction. Community members were able to talk to police, ask questions, and get a better understanding of basic laws. The group's chairman shares its mission.
Our vision, the HPCAC, is a bridge connecting Huntsville Police Department and the community. We're just one of the bridges, but we are a bridge. Our mission is to promote trust between the community and HPD through education and through our thoughtful dialogue that drives continuous improvement of public safety for all citizens.
All right, well, one of the topics the group will visit in later meetings is the city's new cell phone law that will take effect this summer. Congressman Dale Strong secured millions of dollars in funding for Pryorfield Regional Airport. The hope is to help the airport build better infrastructure and bring in more jobs. Arkin McCoy spoke with Mayor Tab Bowling and the Pryorfield director on the big changes.
We learned about a need for a new taxiway on the south end of Pryorfield.
U.S. Representative Dale Strong secured $3.2 million in federal funding for the Pryorfield Regional Airport.
We reached out to Congressman Dale Strong, our 5th District Congressman, about being a part of his 24 appropriations. And with that, he was able to fit this on the transportation appropriation specifically for airports. And we were fortunate to get a call from the congressman that we would be on an appropriation list that would be signed by the president if passed by the Congress and Senate.
So it's been something that's been in the works for quite some time, and we're just very fortunate to have the opportunity to get this money to build this very, very important infrastructure that will take us into the future.
Prior Field Director Adam Fox explains how the plan got started.
It all kind of started with a master plan for the airport. We've allocated property on the southeast side. We allocated that for larger MROs, and shortly thereafter we had some companies come to us looking to build on that side of the property. We've executed some ground leases for phase one of their growth to include about a 50,000 square foot facility.
This is the first phase of a multi-phase taxiway project for the airport. It will end up, providing more jobs at the airport. It's also providing additional infrastructure at our airport while it continues to grow.
This property has no infrastructure to get a said company or operation to the runway. And so this taxiway will be built to take us, like I said, into the future.
U.S. Representative Dale Strong secured $3.2 million in federal funding for the Pryor Field Regional Airport.
We reached out to Congressman Dale Strong, our 5th District Congressman, about being a part of his 24 appropriations. And with that, he was able to fit this on the transportation appropriation specifically for airport.
And according to Airport Director Adam Fox, it all started with the plan.
It all kind of started with a master plan for the airport. We've allocated property on the southeast side. We allocated that for larger MROs, and shortly thereafter we had some companies come to us looking to build on that side of the property. We've executed some ground leases for phase one of their growth to include about a 50,000 square foot facility.
In our prior conversation, Fox and I discussed the need for more infrastructure developments as demand continued to grow.
When we spoke last, I was talking about we have to have that infrastructure built. Like, for instance, on the Northwest, we're building a taxiway and a cargo ramp at this time. And essentially, we have to build that piece to allow facilities to be built adjacent to it. So this is no different. This is very good as it's something that we can do for our partners, our future companies, our future partners that are coming in, so that they have essentially dirt-ready sites to be able to build the facility to meet and service all the things that they require.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
What a load of garbage, from your everyday household trash to dolls and even a shopping cart. Volunteers with Tennessee Riverkeepers said they pulled nearly 2,000 pounds of junk from the Pinhook Creek in downtown Huntsville today. The main target of today's cleanup was plastic. Drinking containers, straws, and shopping bags make up most of the plastic buildup in our waterways. Over time, they break down into microplastics, which can be toxic to living organisms. Pat Underwood, cleanup director for today's event, said the following, quote, "Cleanups are hard work but uplifting and provide hope for citizens who are concerned about our water." Now, this is the second year for the Riverkeeper cleanup of Pinhook Creek. Last year, they dredged 1,700 pounds of trash from the area.
The Skybridge is set to break ground in August, and a new apartment complex is bringing residents a block closer to all the action. Our Ken McCoy spoke with the developer on what this means for the area.
I think the progress that the Hudson family has made with the Low Mill itself being such a large arts and crafts and maker area itself was extremely attractive.
There's a new option for making the artsy area of Low Mill home. The Gallery, a nearly 25,107 unit apartment community located at 9th and Seminole, is now ready for move-ins.
We got a dog spa, we have a yoga room, we have a maker space, we have a state-of-the-art techno gym that's got all the weightlifting equipment and the exercise equipment you could want. We have a nice lounge, sky lounge. It looks out over Low Mill in the mountain in the background, looking toward Montesano. I can't say that we knew that the city was going to build the Skybridge to basically across the street from us when we started it, but we knew that there was big things in store for the city. The city's launched initiatives to do a lot of building just on Governor's Drive. So we're excited about all that.
Speaking of addition, the Skybridge will be adjacent to the property, adding another amenity Yeager didn't see coming.
Well, I think it'll be excellent amenity. I mean, you'll be able to walk from downtown over the Parkway and go to the Low Mill area. I think it can't be anything but an absolute positive for the community. Growing up in Huntsville, I know somehow the Parkway has been a difficult thing to get across, if you want to walk or ride a bicycle. But this will enable people to take advantage of all the amenities and the new developments in downtown Huntsville, and we're cheering them on as well. I don't know any city in the Southeast that's got anything like it. And as big a deal as the bridge itself is the water park and what they're going to be doing, and they're going to be accomplishing flood control, but it's also going to make it a much more beautiful water amenity. So, it's just helping out in all sorts of ways.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Kim McCoy.
Atlanta Spelman College, a historically black liberal arts college for women, is recognizing something special.
We are on our Road to 100 tour right now.
In about 164 days, their Glee Club will be celebrating 100 years, upholding choral excellence with a diverse repertoire since 1924. And Glee Club tour manager Catherine Tucker says what she loves most is the sisterhood.
Being able to kind of be on the road, we get to connect with the alumni who host us at different locations. We get to connect with each other on this tour, and we even get to connect, with the music that we sing. One of our pieces, Go Down Moses, is even composed by a former alum and accompanist, Brittany Boykin. So there's even the aspect of being able to share that with the people on our tour as well.
Glee Club President Gabrielle Campbell shares that each member of the choir may study a different major, but when they all come together, it's all about one common interest.
We all share a common interest, which is the love of music and the love to sing together. So I think the most exciting thing is to not only be able to travel with your sisters, but be able to sing in all these different places with your sisters. There's so many different experiences that comes with being on tour, and there's really no other place like the Glee Club to be able to do that.
This event is sponsored by the Huntsville Alumni Association of Spelman College. The organization is raising scholarships to support area students who have been accepted and plan to attend Spelman College.
I would say since 1996 is when we started doing a fundraiser. We've gone from having speakers to banquets to the jazz group to the Glee Club. So we have evolved over time. And I believe the numbers are about $102,000 we've awarded in scholarships.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Today at Shenanigans Comedy Theater, community organizations came together for a, quote, celebration of women event with an emphasis on women of color and trans women. Alabama Trans Rights Action Coalition, or ALTRAC, says they organized this event to help raise awareness about multiple bills moving through the Alabama legislature that they feel will, if passed, erode their rights here in Alabama. ALTRAC also shares they're hoping to cultivate an inclusive space connecting individuals with different resources.
Thanks to this year's legislative session, for better and for worse, we are already a lot more connected. So that's been a bittersweet consequence of it. If we empower queer people, we're going to empower women's causes. If we empower women's causes, we're going to empower transgender people. If we empower transgender people, we can also empower people of color. We're all in this together, truly.
We have more on this specific topic and some of the bills they're referring to at fox54.com.
Athens State University took time to celebrate the Global Day with a special breakfast and panel discussion. Our Jasmine Bird gives us a listen to women empowering each other.
Being a woman makes me very aware and cognizant, especially a woman in the United States, that we've come a long way and we have a long way to go.
Being strong, being able to handle all the things that women handle.
Someone that is strong, compassionate, caring, loving.
Athens State University started the morning off with an International Women's Day breakfast celebrating women from all backgrounds and walks of life. Keynote speaker Carol Beth Durbin shared the importance of stopping the comparison, and for some women that must start with first taking a look at the masterpiece in the mirror.
We have to start judging people and seeing their value based on their character, not on their accomplishments. But you know who we have to start with? Ourselves.
We just heard from Carol Beth this morning, and she was amazing. She talked to something that really, really resonates inside of me. It's just be yourself.
I think Carol Beth really spoke to supporting each other.
There was also a heartfelt panel with pizzazz discussion covering a number of different issues and how anything is possible with the right support network.
Because the woman carrying groceries to your car deserves the same respect as the CEO of a bank.
It's just celebrating the women, celebrating everything that we're all doing and the previous people before us and how they have kind of set it up for us and how we should set it up for the next to come behind us.
In Athens, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Right, you may remember Huntsville's new hands-free ordinance went into effect the 1st of this year. The new ordinance means if you're caught using your phone while driving, you'll get a warning. But in June, those warnings will run out. You'll then get a ticket. Our Jasmine Bird shares more.
We want to educate the community and let them know that, hey, this is something that could be, a ticketable offense one day.
Huntsville City Council President David Little is referring to holding a phone while driving.
When you're on your phone, your mind is engaged, and a lot of people don't realize that you really can't do two things at once.
The District 2 representative says the main changes to the hands-free ordinance in January was the offense for holding a phone in your hand while driving.
Of course, a lot of people know we already had a no texting ordinance. It was a secondary offense. The new one makes holding a phone in your hand a primary offense. So people need to use headphones or their speakerphone or their Bluetooth in their car if they have it, if they need to talk on the phone.
Little shares that police departments had some in-service training on how to enforce this ordinance, and currently
they are or will be pulling people over for having a phone in their hand, and up and through the end of June it'll be a warning, and they actually have some palm cards they can give to people. This explains the changes.
The ordinance was also amended that law enforcement can't use the phone as a reason to establish probable cause for other violations or search a vehicle, driver or passenger, just because of the phone violation.
But if somebody gets pulled over for having a phone in their hand and their seatbelt's not on, or the police officer smells alcohol, or they smell drugs or see drug paraphernalia, well then that is a whole new ball game. So that is the probable cause for those offenses.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Just look good, feel good, play good.
It might sound brash, but it has some substance. Huntsville City FC unveiled their new home and away jerseys for the 2024 season, and the players say it makes a difference.
I think they're amazing. From the material, you can see it's a step up from last year. I really like it, the home and away one. It's my second year back here, so I think that the kits really represent the city. I like the checkered ad, and it's very good.
Of course, it gives them another set of merch to sell, but it's one of the steps that the barely 2-year-old franchise is taking to elevate its identity.
You want to feel special every time you walk out there, and the big thing for me is the meaning behind it. We talk a lot to this group about being on a journey together, and the greatest journey is that journey to the moon, isn't it? So to try and tie in a lot of the stuff we do with that is just been really perfect.
They'll wear the navy at home. It's called the Countdown Kit and has a classic checkerboard pattern down the side. The white kits, called To the Moon, feature a sublimated photo of the moon on the front. It'll make its debut in the team's season opener on Saturday the 16th at Chattanooga.
We know it'll be tough, obviously going there. They're going to be ready for it. It's their first game in the league, and their fans are going to be excited, and they'll be ready, so we know it won't be easy. And we just have to go and match the intensity and just play how we play and just obviously give our all, and it should be a good game.
When the whistle blows, it'll be up to the players to live up to their end of the phrase, look good, feel good, play good. In Huntsville, Simon Williams, Fox 54 Sports.
Get this, nearly 30 Athens high school students put their budgeting skills to the test while giving back. Teachers at the school's career and tech education program received a $1,000 grant. It's from Athens City Schools Foundation to fund a project they're calling Thrifty Spending. One of the teachers say many students don't know the actual cost of household items. This program exposed students to taxes and couponing benefits. All of the items will be gifted to families in need.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
A lot of kiddos are on spring break, but we're still recognizing teachers who I'm sure could use the break too. We meet a teacher nominated twice for going above and beyond, and in turn, she wants the same for her students. Meet this week's top teacher, Emily Morrow from Banks-Cadell Elementary School in Decatur. Welcome to Emily Morrow's.
Y'all just go ahead and get your book out.
5th grade class at Banks-Cadell Elementary School.
I have absolutely loved my career, and it's been the children and their families that have made it amazing for me.
Morrow has taught for 32 years, a good chunk of it teaching 3rd and 5th graders. And this year,
it's my last year.
Morrow is retiring after making a stop in Texas and ending her career in Alabama. Morrow has seen a lot.
I've seen so many of them go on to do amazing things, and I've tried to keep up with as many as I can, and they're doing great. That's important to me, that their lives turn out good.
So for her, this honor.
So I tricked her and told her she was getting her picture made because she's retiring.
Means a lot.
This is Miss Morrow, who was nominated and won top teacher from FOX54. So congratulations.
Her principal, Britt Lovelace, says she makes sure her students strive for success.
She inspires students by encouraging them to be creative and to think outside of the box, and she expects all of her students to reach their goals and go above and beyond. Even if they're struggling students, she's going to work hard to make sure that they reach their goals and are successful. Ms. Morrow's made a huge impact. She's taught for over 32 years, and she's met the needs of so many of our students.
And Lovelace says Morrow tries to make learning fun.
We love to do anything hands-on. I love competition in the classroom. We're doing a March Madness competition right now for testing, and seeing my children be successful in life, that's number one for me.
Congratulations, Mrs. Morrow, on your top teacher honor and retirement. Remember, if you'd like to nominate an educator for our Fox 54 Top Teacher Honor Roll, it's as easy as going to fox54.com and filling out a quick form. Also, stay with Fox 54 Plus throughout the week for special programs like this one you won't find over the air, but they're all free when you get our app for Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV devices. Until next time, I'm Kenesha Dees. Thanks for watching the Week in Review.